Stormy return. Jaime Dornan causes shock when appearing affectionate with Dakota Johnson. The white buildings of Venice Beach reflected the morning sun, making everything seem more sparkling than usual. Jaime Dornan, wearing a baseball cap, hands in his pockets, leaned against the wooden railing, looking out at the shore where the white-capped waves were rolling into the sand. Next to him, Dakota Johnson was smiling, a smile as light as the California air but enough to make the heart of the person opposite sway a little. A street photographer recognized them. At first, the person hesitated, but only 2 seconds later, the click-click-click sound seemed to break the peace of the morning. Jaime turned around, but did not avoid. Dakota, who was used to being secretly photographed, just raised his eyebrows slightly and continued to say something that made Jaime laugh. There was no overly intimate action. Just the two of them standing next to each other, but their smiles were enough to make anyone who looked at them think they were seeing two people closer than usual. And that was the spark. Just an hour later, the photos flooded social networks. Jaime Dornan, Dakota Johnson appeared together again. The famous movie couple reunited in real life, Dakota holding Jaime's hand. The action attracted attention. While the truth was much simpler, they only met again to take photos to promote the art project they both participated in. But the online life rarely cared about the truth, only cared about what was most contagious. While Jaime and Dakota continued to walk carefree for a few more minutes, unaware of what was happening, halfway around the world, a woman was sitting motionless in front of her phone screen. Amelia Warner. Point 2. Amelia and the moment of silence. The small kitchen in London had the familiar warmth of a family, lavender in a vase on the table, a few doodles of children stuck on the fridge. But Amelia did not see those things. Her eyes were glued to the post that was spreading at breakneck speed. Jaime and Dakota. She clicked on the photo, enlarged it, then shrunk it, then enlarged it again. Not because she was jealous. Jealousy only happens when people hold something back from each other. And between her and Jaime, what existed now, was history. A long, deep, but closed history. What bothered Amelia was the feeling of being pulled back into the world she had fought so hard to escape, a world where a single photo could turn her life upside down. She remembered Jaime's prime years, when every interview, every step out of the house could be global news. She had endured it for years, and she thought she was used to it. But this feeling, seeing Jaime standing next to Dakota in front of the camera, again, made her feel sick, like someone gently picking at a wound that had healed not long ago. The phone vibrated. A friend's text. "Are you okay? Have you seen Jaime's photo?" Amelia turned off the screen. She didn't want to reply. She didn't want to think, but she couldn't help but feel. Point 3. Jaime and Dakota review viral images. In the afternoon, Jaime and Dakota sat in the photo studio. The art director handed him an iPad. "This morning's photo went viral," he said. Jaime frowned. Dakota laughed. "Again?" Dakota asked, half joking, half disgusted. Jaime looked at the screen. It was funny. Images they both considered harmless were captioned as if they were revealing a hot secret. "We were just standing next to each other," Jaime said. Dakota shrugged. "The problem is your smile. You can be misunderstood when you smile at anyone." Jaime laughed. "It's not your fault you have a friendly smile." "Right," Dakota said, resting his chin on his hand. "Are you going to explain this to Amelia?" The question silenced Jaime. He knew Amelia had seen it. She was always the one to avoid scandal, but she was also sensitive to anything media-related, especially when her name had appeared alongside his in unfriendly articles many times. Jaime sighed. "I don't want to make things worse. But maybe I should text." Dakota nodded. At least let her know it's not what people say. Jaime was about to send the message, but he stopped. He didn't know why, but it was harder than usual to write. Not because he still had feelings, but because he was afraid Amelia would be dragged back into the public vortex that she had tried to avoid for so long. Dakota looked at him for a moment and then said softly, "You're not a bad person for appearing in a photo, Jaime. But you would be heartless if you let someone get hurt by that photo and not say anything." Jaime looked at her, then nodded. Point 4. Amelia leaves the house. The kitchen was getting more and more stuffy. Amelia put on her coat and walked out of the house to relieve herself. London in the afternoon was filled with mist. She walked along the Thames, where the lights reflected on the black water. There were many people passing by, and the laughter and music of the streets created a bustling mix of sounds. But in Amelia's mind, there was only one series of images repeating: Jaime and Dakota. Not the image of the two of them, but the image of the 5 months she endured the side stories the press made up regardless of her fault. She remembered the time they reported Jaime secretly meeting Dakota while he was filming. The article made her lock her phone for 3 days because of hundreds of messages from people she didn't know. She thought she was over it, but it seemed like the Jaime thing never really ended. 5. Jaime's text. Jaime stood by the studio window, the sunset light washing over his tense face. He opened his phone. "Jaime, did you see the pictures this morning? I just wanted to say, it was just a project meeting." Nothing else. He stared at the text for a long time before hitting send. Dakota looked at him. "Are you okay?" Jaime nodded. "I hope so. Are you worried she'll get the wrong idea?" "It's not a misunderstanding," Jaime said. "It's just, I know it'll bother her." Dakota smiled sadly. "You don't have to still love each other to be hurt by each other." Jaime was silent. He didn't want to admit it, but Dakota was right. Point 6. Amelia reads the text. When Amelia returned home, it was dark. She sat down on the sofa, turning on the soft yellow lights. The house was warm, but her heart was not. The phone vibrated. A text from Jaime. Amelia stared at the message for almost a minute before opening it. She read it, and put the phone down. It wasn't jealousy, it was tiredness. Tiredness of things she thought were over being brought up whenever the internet needed a little drama. Tiredness of having her name associated with two people she no longer had a relationship with every few months. Tiredness of having to explain, even to herself, that she was okay. Amelia texted back. "I know, it's okay, it's just annoying." As soon as she sent it, she felt a little lighter, but not much. 7. The storm of comments. In the next few hours, social media exploded with comments. "They look so good together, it's like a movie in real life. Amelia must be so upset. Jaime and Dakota are back together again." There were mean comments, some that mocked Amelia as if she were just a supporting character in her own life. Amelia read a few lines and then hung up. She wanted to cry, not because of Jaime, not because of Dakota. It was because the world was so easily using her name as a punchline. Point 8. Dakota facing the storm. Dakota sat in her Los Angeles apartment, scrolling through the comments. She sighed. She knew this would happen. She had lived under the scrutiny of the media for years. But what bothered her was not the rumor that she was dating Jaime, it was that Amelia was being the subject of online criticism. Dakota decided to call Jaime. "We should do something," she said. Jaime was surprised. "What? About Amelia? She's being dragged into something that has nothing to do with her." Jaime sat down, rubbing her forehead. I know, but I can't do anything but tell the truth. No, Dakota said firmly. You can say it publicly. We can say it publicly that it's all business and we don't want anyone to get hurt. Jaime hesitated. Dakota continued, I'm not doing it for myself, I'm doing it for someone who doesn't deserve to be put in an awkward position. Jaime exhaled. You're right. Point 9. The post is published. That evening, Jaime posted a status on his personal page. The images that went viral today are just moments from my work with Dakota. There's nothing else behind it. I hope people don't speculate, and especially don't drag unrelated people into this story. Please respect each other's lives. Dakota reshared the post with a line, we are friends and colleagues. Please stop making baseless speculations. The online community was in an uproar. Many were sympathetic, others were looking for more. But at least Amelia was mentioned less. Amelia read the post. She breathed a sigh of relief, not because she needed Jaime to protect her, but because at least this time, she wasn't left alone in the storm of public opinion.